watching CBS 8 Mornings at 6.
Thank you so much for joining us at 6 a.m. on this Thursday. I'm Eric Connors.
And I'm Netta Iranpour. And let's get ready for this rain that's on the way. I think a lot of people need to prepare for this. I mean, this is some serious stuff.
Right. We've got a good amount on the way. Today, I want to emphasize is a dry day that we have out there.
So get out there and enjoy it now.
Enjoy it. Do whatever you got to do. Get the errands done before the weekend, as that is going to be the wet stretch, the very windy stretch, the cold stretch, and likely just a mess across a lot of our roadways. Today's forecast takes us to the low 70s out by the coast, the low 80s inland, under partly cloudy to mostly cloudy skies. We'll really start to see that moisture increase. This is the setup right now overhead. That center of low pressure is just off the coast of San Francisco, bringing plenty of moderate to heavy rain up toward Northern California. It will continue to trudge south in our direction as we make our way through the next couple hours and really the next 24 hours in particular. By this time tomorrow, we will start to see some of those glimmers of green arrive more intensely in Southern California. Coming up, we're going to talk about how much rain in total we're going to see, what the biggest impacts will be over the course of the weekend. Back to you.
Well, this morning, the longest government shutdown in U.S. history is over. President Donald Trump signed a government funding package last night. It funds the government through the end of January, extends funding for SNAP benefits for a full year, and reverses shutdown-related layoffs of federal workers. However, it does not include extensions to Affordable Care Act tax credits. Sherelle Hubbard has the reaction.
With my signature, the federal government will now resume normal operations.
It's the end of the longest government shutdown in history.
The yeas are 222, the nays are 209. The bill is passed. The motion is adopted.
But going into the vote, some House Democrats slammed the bill.
I think it is a raw deal for the American people.
The deal to end the shutdown includes job restoration for thousands of federal workers fired during the shutdown, back pay for furloughed workers, protections against mass federal layoffs through the end of the fiscal year, and funding SNAP benefits through the 2026 fiscal year. But it's what the bill doesn't include that is getting the most reaction, an extension of the Enhanced Affordable Care Act subsidies, which millions of Americans rely on. They're set to expire at the end of the year.
Every person in our country has lost a loved one to cancer, and yet you would vote to deny people life-saving cancer treatment and research. Republicans control the House, the Senate, and the White House, and with the majority, you have chosen to enact harm to make people hungrier, poorer, sicker, and less safe.
Republicans have promised a future Senate vote on ACA subsidies. The House, though, has not committed to taking it up. After the vote, House Speaker Mike Johnson placed blame for the shutdown squarely on Democrats.
Absolutely no question in anybody's mind now that the Democrats were responsible for this.
I'm Sherelle Hubbard reporting.
And here's how San Diego's congressional representative voted. Republican Darrell Issa in the 48th district voted yes. All 4 local Democrats voted no. Meanwhile, a late-night memo from the White House's Office of Management and Budget instructed furloughed federal employees to report to work today. About 670,000 federal workers were furloughed. They, along with workers who stayed on the job, have not been paid in over 6 weeks.
The government shutdown may have ended, but this morning still uncertainty about air travel and SNAP benefits.
Lots of unknowns here. CBS 8's Regina Garita live at San Diego International Airport with the latest on the flight disruptions and when these SNAP benefits could resume here. Regina?
Hey, good morning, Eric and Netta. Yeah, well, even though the longest government shutdown in U.S. history has ended, the ripple effects will continue to linger here at the airport. We've been monitoring really the delays and cancellations since last week because of these flight reductions, but air travel won't return to normal immediately. Aviation experts say this could take a couple weeks. Airports have to get back into places. Airplanes have to get back into places. According to FlightAware, here at the San Diego International Airport, since this morning, there have been 18 delays and 36 cancellations. Now, that doesn't necessarily mean that all airplanes, or at least all passengers, will be dealing with these types of issues, but it is still lingering. The FAA slowed flight traffic to maintain safety standards after more air traffic controllers than usual called out sick as they worked without pay during the lapse in funding. Air traffic controllers will receive back pay, but it won't happen immediately. President Donald Trump also announced on Truth Social that workers who stayed working through the shutdown would receive bonuses. Meanwhile, for SNAP recipients, after weeks of uncertainty, millions of Americans will soon start receiving federal nutrition assistance benefits again. A USDA spokesperson told CBS News that SNAP recipients in most states will get their benefits within 24 hours after the government shutdown ends, but noted that the exact timeline could differ by state. So in terms of the San Diego International Airport here this morning, again, we have been monitoring the delays and cancellations for the past couple of days. We've been getting mixed reactions. Some people say they've had a smooth experience when it comes to traveling here, with others still dealing with delays. We'll have to see how today and the next couple of days start to unfold. For now, I'll send it back to you.
Regina, thank you. This morning, the future of a market in Leucadia is uncertain.
We've learned the owner is facing deportation. CBS 8's Chris Groh live in Leucadia with what family members and customers are saying. It's a well-known spot there, Chris.
It is well known. In fact, the owner has been here since 1990. That's when he first crossed into America, and he says he's been owning this market for about 7 years. A lot of the people around here know it well. They're very upset that he now faces this deportation. Take a listen to what he told us.
Here more than I spent time in Mexico. I have more time here than there. So, and if they grant that, I'll be so happy. But without that, my kids will continue with the business, and I will fight with something else.
And that's the owner of Just Peachy Farm Fresh, Norberto Ambrosio, who again has been here since 1990. He says what is going on right now, what is happening, is that he typically renews his work permit every year to be here in the States legally. But this year, under the Trump administration, without notice, his immigration case was reopened, and now he faces possible deportation to Mexico. Now, here's what happens next. He has this court hearing on November 25th. Their hope is that, of course, the judge could see a business owner, been here for years, has family members, has children that live here, and could offer a pathway to getting his green card. However, they do fear that deportation is an option, and they are scared of that. His daughter, who lives in Washington State, has come down to the Leucadia area to help run the business, especially if that might be more long-term. Take a listen to what she said.
Come down here, how to support my family the best I could. We knew one day we would, come in and step in for our dad, for him to retire, but this is not how we wanted it to be.
Now, we have reached out to the Department of Homeland Security about this case. They referred us, I should say, to the Department of Justice, who at the time that we contacted them to now, we have still not heard back from them. Erica Neto.
Chris, thank you very much for bringing that to light. This morning, the city of San Diego is getting ready for the rain. Are you ready? The Stormwater Department clearing drains and inlets, and staff will monitor more than 46,000 storm drains. Residents are asked to clear the debris and report issues on the Get It Done app. Sandbags are available at 11 recreation centers. The county also offering sandbags and tips about staying safe out on the roads. You can read more about that on our website, cbs8.com. As we know, with rain, unfortunately, a lot of car crashes happen.
Right, absolutely.
So tomorrow,
yeah, plan
just
ahead.
Take your time.
A lot of folks have the option to work from home. If you have that, you may want to exercise that tomorrow.
I agree. Yeah. Tomorrow will be a day all around, not where we're necessarily worried about you being on the roads, but we're worried about everyone being on the roads together. That's where we could run into significant delays, in addition to our crashes and collisions that we usually see. This rain, and especially the moderate to heavy rain that could arrive by Saturday, just tends to create a mess out there. So if you can limit the amount of time you're spending out there, or maybe you just want to avoid it in general, then I would say the day to work from home is Friday. Saturday is a great day to hang out at home, have activities indoors with the kids. Maybe spend some time outside if you want to go peek at the rain and see the possibility of some thunderstorms, but otherwise, not the best weekend to be running around town. Satellite radar is showing that we have a little bit of cloud cover out there, and you can see that on our live camera from Mount Soledad. Looking toward downtown San Diego, that's the skyline. Sun just starting to come up in about 8 minutes, but you can make out how there are some parts of the county, our coastal valleys, that are still seeing a little bit of fog to start off the day. By the time we get into tomorrow, notice that chance for rain spikes 65% by Friday. Going from Friday into Saturday, we get all the way up to a 98% chance. And then that chance stays elevated for Sunday, Monday, and even Tuesday, dropping down to just 50% by Tuesday. It's more likely that we'll see a more prolonged stretch of dry weather by about Wednesday. So Wednesday is going to be our next best opportunity to see dry skies across the county after today. Rain accumulations have varied tremendously, but what I want to emphasize is that the heaviest accumulations stay well to the north of us. And when I say north of us, I mean Santa Barbara, 6.3 inches, for example, 4.8 inches in Oxnard, 3.1 in LA. You might remember we brought this map to you yesterday, and it had projected LA at 6 inches. We had talked yesterday about how these maps and these rainfall estimates are going to change. They changed from yesterday into today. They will change from today into tomorrow. So don't rely too heavily on these, but you can get the overarching idea, which is that much heavier accumulations are going to be up north of us, about 2 to 3 inches in San Diego. We'll also start to watch as stronger pushes of onshore flow build this afternoon. That means more and more wind in the forecast, getting breezier. It'll help accompany the cooler temperatures that arrive through the weekend and into early next week. There's that 4-day stretch of rain from Friday through Monday at the very least. Let's jump into traffic, talk about how your roads are looking. Right now we have one crash to take you to. It's causing some pretty minor backups as we kick off the morning, and this is as you get on to the 15 to the 805. This is now on the 805. We earlier had issues getting from the 15 to the 805. Again, there was a stalled vehicle. Now there is a crash on the 805 northbound at Home Avenue. Minor backups that we're seeing also on the 94 this morning. When we look at your drive times out the door, we've got green across the screen here. Once you get to the 8, moving to the 5 on the 805, 94 westbound from the 125 to downtown. It's a 7-minute commute, and the 5 southbound from the 54 to the border only going to take you about 8 minutes in total. Let's take a look at your border wait times now. 60-minute wait at the San Ysidro Port of Entry, and Otay Mesa Port of Entry, about 30 minutes in total.